of soul. 6. Now, every soul is free from death and in perpetual motion. For in the general sermons when we have said some motions are by means of the activities, others are owing to the bodies. We say, moreover, that the soul's produced out of a certain essence, not a matter, incorporeal itself, just as its essence is. Now everything that's born, must of necessity be born from something. All things, moreover, in which destruction followeth on birth, must of necessity have two kinds of motion with them: the motion of the soul, by which they're moved, and body's motion, by which they wax and wane. Moreover, also, on the former's dissolution, the latter is dissolved. This I define, then, as the motion of bodies corruptible. The soul, however, is in perpetual motion, in that perpetually it moves itself, and makes its motion active too in other things. And so, according to this reason, every soul is free from death, having for motion the making active of itself. The kinds of souls are three: divine, and human, and irrational. Now the divine is that of its divine body, in which there is the making active of itself. For it is moved in it, and moves itself. For when it is set free from mortal lives, it separates itself from the irrational portions of itself, departs unto the godlike body, and as 'tis in perpetual motion, is moved in its own self, with the same motion as the universe. The humankind has also something of the godlike body, but it has joined to it as well the parts irrational, the appetite and heart. These latter also are immortal, in that they happen also in themselves to be activities. But they are the activities of mortal bodies. Wherefore, they are removed far from the godlike portion of the soul, when it is in its godlike body. But when this enters in a mortal frame, they also cling to it, and by the presence of these elements it keeps on being a human soul. But that of the irrationals consists of heart and appetite. And for this cause these lives are also called irrational, through deprivation of the reason of the soul. You may consider, too, as a fourth kind that of the soulless, which from without the bodies operates in them, and sets them moving. But this should really be the moving of itself within its godlike body, and the moving of these other things as it were by the way, of soul. 6. Soul, then, is an eternal intellectual essence, having for purpose one the reason of itself. And when it thinks with it, it doth attract unto itself the harmony's intention. But when it leaves behind the body nature makes, it biddeth in and by itself, the maker of itself in the noetic world. It rolleth its own reason, bearing in its own thought a motion called by the name of life. Like unto that of that which cometh into life. For that the thing peculiar to the soul is this, to furnish other things with what is like its own peculiarity. There are, accordingly, two lives, two motions: one, that according to the essence of the soul. The other, that according to the nature of the body. The former is more general, the latter is more partial. The life that is according unto essence has no authority but its own self, the other is under necessity. For everything that's moved, is under the necessity of that which moveth it. The motion that doth move, however, is in close union with the love of the noetic essence. For soul must be incorporeal, essence that hath no share in any body nature makes. For were it corporeal, it would have neither reason nor intelligence. For every body is without intelligence. But when it doth receive of essence, it doth obtain the power of being a breathing animal. The spirit hath the power to contemplate the body. The reason of the essence hath the power to contemplate the beautiful. The sensible the spirit is that which can discern appearances. It is distributed into the various sense organs. A part of it becometh spirit by means of which we see, a part by means of which we hear, a part by means of which we smell, a part by means of which we taste, a part by means of which we touch. This spirit, when it is led upwards by the understanding, discerns that which is sensible. But if 'tis not, it only maketh pictures for itself. For it is of the body, and that, too, receptible of all impressions. The reason of the essence, on the other hand, is that which is possessed of judgment. The knowledge of things worthy to be known is coexistent with the reason. That which is coexistent with the spirit is opinion. The latter has its operation from the surrounding world. The former, from itself.